Oh, hello everyone. New day, new stream. We're sitting down with our drawing tablet and the big tent, the Circus Tent battle map. And we're just going to paint it. Nice and simple. Nice simple goal. Happy to interact with you all in the chat if you'd like to. Otherwise, I'm just going to put my head down and detail this thing. We've got interior, exterior, and some trapeze platforms. But I haven't looked at this map in a while. I just remember there's a little bit of tidy up to do. Hey, Notsuke. Yeah, it's not looking very good yet, but I'm pretty optimistic that this is going to be a nice map. One of the fixes I want to do is the perspective on these shadows is really wonky, so we're going to fix that. We'll get there. But I'm just kind of fixing a few things which stand out to me immediately first. Historically, I make 22 by, sorry, 16. I had it right the first time. 22 by 16 battle maps usually. But lately I'm graduating up to 44 by 32, which is 200%, 4 times as big. So you can see this one's, well, it's portrait, so it's 32 by 44 right there. In other news, I think I fixed the marquee crash tool because we used that a lot yesterday and didn't have any crashes. So I think it was an incompatibility between Photoshop and my screenshotting software. I'm yet to do a proper dungeon with this 44 by 32 size. Something I wanted to get done this month, but I ran out of time. I'm so glad I didn't take that challenge on, because this map was already way larger than what I usually do. And frankly, I've overwhelmed myself this month. And yeah, so I'm glad I didn't double overwhelm myself. But next month, hopefully we'll get to a mega dungeon. I have done back in the 22 by 16 inch battle map days, we did a multi-part dungeon, which was 2 by 4. So 8 battle maps in all. That's the largest dungeon I've done before. More of a cave system, I suppose, but in the context of D&D, that's a dungeon. I'm glad you get plenty of use out of it. Yeah, I'm excited to do a dungeon. I've got some ideas for like tiling and stonework. Maybe that doesn't sound very exciting, but I'm excited to stretch my legs with some different stonework designs. It's been a while since I did any kind of man-made dungeon, now that I think about it. I did do a 44 by 32 abandoned tunnels map, which was a mine shaft that crisscrosses some natural caverns. So that's a dungeon, isn't it? That was either June or July. I've lost track. Did I already fix this up? No, I didn't. Did I? We're just retroactively fixing up some of my very clumsy line art. Bear with me. None of these colors are permanent at all. Probably one of the first things I should do. Usually I just work in these high contrast colors for most of the project, and then right at the end I kind of choose the final color scheme. But seeing as I'm streaming, it would be nice if everything looked decent along the way. So we'll pick some decent colors before we go too far ahead. Do you have any favorite battle maps, Noctske? Any kind of go-to battle maps or battle maps with good memories associated with them? I'm pretty keen to see what people do with all these circus things, because you can go pretty wild with circuses. I think we'll get some fun stories out of these maps. I think we'll just tidy this up. Okay, bear with me. I just want to pull in a different battle map real quick. I kind of want to color balance this one based on this one. Like it all takes place in kind of the same neighborhood. So we'll borrow these grass colors and road colors. Where should I put this down? This is a recent 44 by 32 battle map, so you can kind of get a feel for the scale I'm working with now. A lot more room for like spell snipers and longbow users, basically. And it's also just more fun for the melee classes. They don't all clash in the first round. There's a little bit of maneuvering first. Put that over there. Oh, you must have played Troy's Adventure, yeah. There's Something Among Us is the name of the article series that's on the blog. My brother Troy wrote that, and I did the battle maps. Yeah, that's a fun one. Hey Grant, thanks Ben. Yeah, did your players prevail? Did they all survive and make it out? Well, I hope your players survived, but did your player characters also survive? quite like this wood color. Like this grass and this wood work well together. Too bad it's all set indoors. Although I am going to export this as its own asset, so you can use it just as a stadium or perhaps a arena, something. So that's good. Ben, I've got a especially ransacked town, like called the Meadow Ruins. It's just the bricks remain. That might not be what you're after. Oh, and the Forgotten Well. The Forgotten Well is a ransacked town covered in cobwebs and stuff in the midst of some dark woods. And there's a well on it. The eponymous well. I also want to drag in one of the circus assets from yesterday. Hold on. I'm thinking we'll start with this color scheme. Although, seeing as it's surrounded by yellowish grass, there's probably a more interesting color scheme. Maybe the, I don't want to go too cliche like red and yellow. I want something more unique. You can kind of see for the first time too how you might build extended circus around the main tent. And then, yeah, it's good. I was worried that the line art would be much finer on the assets than on the tent, but not so. It all kind of gels together. I hope it was just a one-shot Noctske, but that sounds like yeah, a good way to raise the stakes, perhaps. How to get the grids? In Photoshop, you can press Control apostrophe, and that toggles the Photoshop grid. You can also adjust that under File, sorry, under Edit, Preferences, Guides, Grids, and Slices. If you want to make your own grid, it's, well, I mean, you can just open this grid up and then draw over it. Okay, I need to focus just a tad more. So we were doing basic color, basic colors. So let's just work with these colors for now. Hmm? I suppose that should be the yellow one. We want the entrance to be colorful. We'll just go with these colors for now. Kind of nice, although the shadow is way off. Oh, this is the easiest grid way I know. It's nice because you get to snap to it and everything. You can just toggle it with Control apostrophe whenever you need it. And it doesn't take up a layer or anything like that. Okay, let's fix the watercolor issue. I need all these to be elsewhere. Okay. Cleaned up. The yellow kind of works inside too. Ah, and before I forget, we want an interior and an exterior dirt. Something like that for now. Hmm. That's what I want. Okay, so now you can see the issue I was talking about is much more pronounced. Like with the perspective we've got, not quite top down, but it's not nearly as dramatic as the watercolor suggests. So it'll be like a halfway house between enlarging, enlarging, enlarging these and shrinking these. We'll see what we can do. I'm not sure, can you see what I'm looking at on OBS? Cannot. I'm using the Liquify tool. A very laggy Liquify tool because it's very large. But hold on just a bit and you'll see what I'm up to. Very laggy. Is this because I'm running OBS as well? Oh, it seems to not like my stylus very much. Well, it's okay, I'll use the mouse. This is when all the traditional artists kind of cringe because I'm doing some major edits to the watercolor right now, which you'll see in a little bit. I want to do that. Man, my neighbors are having a ripper party, and it's only 4 p.m. Singing. Well, I won't give away too much information. Okay, something like this. Hey, Katska. And good morning, Philip. All right, so if you caught that, if I toggle it back and forth, you can see the edits I made with the Liquify tool. This is before, this is after. Now it's much more balanced. And we haven't lost, it is a little bit smudged. Yeah, it is, but I think we can get away with it because the watercolor is not going to be this visible. It's going to be much more like this kind of level. So this is just temporary. And then just in a mask, let's play around with kind of some general shading. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry, I just had a really weird effect. Why did you do that? Okay, I think I've got auto hotkey doing something funny. Or this guy? When I click and drag my gradient tool, it starts moving the canvas. Have I got like a modifier key stuck? That's weird. You can probably see some of that movement. How do I bring up the on-screen keyboard in Windows? Then I might be able to see what's being held down. Ah, I found it. It doesn't look like anything. Maybe I need to restart Photoshop real quick. That's weird. Okay. Let's save where we're at. And I'm just going to real quick restart Photoshop. well, as quick as you can restart Photoshop. Of course, it's a very heavy program. Yeah, big thanks to the 9 people who are watching live. And if you're watching in the future, this is my hello to you as well. Leave a comment and we can chat. Okay, did that fix the issue? If it didn't fix the issue, it did fix the issue, so no worries. If it didn't fix the issue, then we'd be kind of stuck. So I'm doing just editing, treating this watercolor kind of like a height map or something like that. Because I just want the higher areas closer to the sun to be brighter. Not because that's how it works in real life, but I think it's just going to reinforce the shape of the tent. And we are not obliterating this information. I can bring everything back should I need to. And in fact, I think I want to drop the opacity on the tent area a bit because all of these details in the grass and on the interior we want to keep. But this back here is just a little bit much. I think something like that. The other thing is, if you were here when you watched me draw this thing, I just kind of drew this flag over the top of everything. That's not true. I drew the flag and then I did the watercolor over the top of the flag. Just forgetting about the flag on purpose. But that's because we can come back now and fix that. Although it doesn't really have much of a presence, so maybe it's fine. But if we do get rid of it, it will help our flag kind of glow, I guess. Put these over here. Yes, so I want, I'm trying to get these grasses to match up. So we got kind of a greeny color, but the first order of business is we need to take this line art, which is currently just one layer, and I'm going to split it up so that there's a separate watercolor for each of these different materials, with the possible exception of the interior, which will have its own kind of ambient light. Yeah. So how shall I go about that? Hmm. Yeah, I think we delete it. We'll bring back just a little bit more because I kind of liked it. High contrast. That's not how we do that. It's better. It's still going to be much lower opacity than that, so tight. Hey Silencer. Lately I've been using a watercolor brush to make all of this rendering, and all of the rendering you see in here, all the shading. That's been my secret ingredient. But yeah, you can. You're watching from YouTube, so yeah, if you head into my channel and look at the previous streams we've done, you'll be able to find the stream where I bust out the watercolors and shade this map if you're interested. Okay, so these are the layers I'm gonna make, I think. One, oh, hold on. More than that. We'll have watercolor for grass, watercolor for dirt in here. Also, separate watercolor possibly for the interior. And then watercolor for cold and warm regions in the tent zone. Which is here. Uh, yeah, better than that. Just an overlay. 2 overlays. Warm and cold. Inside their own mask. And that accounts for here. So let's just get some temporary colors going. So this will be our cold colors for like the white and the blue. And then we'll have warm colors for this area, which will look much more warm, as you may have guessed. And then we can adjust them both separately. And now we're much closer to finished. And much closer to our control. Pretty darn close, in fact. I'm still not sold on yellow and white. We might pick a different color altogether. Not sure yet. But not quite finished because we want to have a separate color in here. Mm. Idea. So we just make this green. Perfect. If I do this, will this work? Nope. That looks like everything. No, I'm going about this wrong. Okay, bear with me. This is the part of the stream where Ross tries to organize his layers better, which never very interesting. Okay, but I think we got the right thing here now. We have an interior watercolor, that's the green. We have, well, that's just acting as an overlay right now. We want warm, cold, grass, dirt. Here's the dirt. If I deselect all that, we should just have dirt here. Okay, we'll just invert selection, invert. Let's try and make test color. This will be grass, right? Good. So your grass. And in theory, this one's now dirt. But it's also grass. I must have made the selection wrong. But let's try and get the purple showing up in the dirt zone. I quite like this effect we get though when we layer up two colors on top of each other. I need to remember to do this for like my Feywild maps. Just got that Fey look to it. I mean, the whole thing looks very Feywild, just like this to me. But anyway. Marina, we might go back to red. We'll certainly try it, or at least put some red in the banners. It's going to work top to bottom, so yeah, so we have here base watercolor. We want to layer on the top warm colors in the tent zone. Which is there. Check. Next, we want grass. We want this awkward color just to appear in the grass. So what if I move it? Okay, it's really just this simple. No? Yeah, this line work was done with a fine liner. That's another stream recording you can find on the YouTube channel if you're interested. This particular battle map we've made pretty much 100% on stream, if I remember correctly. So you can truly watch it from start to finish if you have 10 to 15 hours to spare. Okay, so select all, get rid of everything that isn't grass, and get rid of dirt. Now this should be the grass zone. That. Why do we also have grass up here? Okay, that's what we want. And we also want to get rid of this, which is not grass. And in theory, dirt is just going to be... We already got dirt? No. Dirt is this minus tent, banners, etc. Okay, I'm kind of digging this look though, with all of the mixture. So I think for each zone, we're going to try 2 different watercolor shades. What did I just do? All right, let me try that again. Okay, dirt. Yes. Check. And then interior is all good. It should be something more like down here. Okay, so approximate final colors will be something along these lines. I'm really digging this grass effect that we stumbled upon. Cool, and we can adjust the tent separately the way we did it. Should we want to? Yeah, so I take it back. We'll keep the base colors from here, the dirt and the grass, but we'll choose our own shadow layers because I think I can do better than that. So let's see if we mixed back a bit of pink or something. What effect did I just have? I do that. Oh yeah, definitely muddy right now, but I'm just experimenting with an effect I applied by accident a little bit ago. So that was this minus these. Oops. Whoa. I also just stumbled upon a certain other Photoshop function that I've been searching for a while. Anyway. How did we do that? I might have to like watch back the stream or something to figure that out. Oh, maybe this is it. Like that. Need a higher contrast just to work with. Something crazy. Yeah, this is what I was searching for. Or it's a very um, crude implementation of what I was searching for. Oops. Now we've got like a duotone shadow area, which we can tame down. But that's more interesting than just a single tone, and also more natural, more like watercolor actually works. If we choose something more grassy, kind of want this grass to be darker. How do I go about that? Not like that. Yeah, now we're talking. Gradient maps like yeah, I know what you mean. No, I haven't tried that. I wonder how to apply that actually. Because that wouldn't be a mask kind of thing, would it? Let me look that up quickly in the background. Because I can imagine that would work really well, yeah. Image adjustment gradient map. Let's see if I can stumble my way into it. So for a gradient map, do I need like a black and white image, perhaps? Here's what's essentially a mask of the watercolor. So in theory, I can turn this into a gradient map. But actually, I don't know anything about gradient maps, so maybe not. Gradient map? Uh-huh. Yeah, I could work with this. If I pick something funky. Yeah. Thanks, Marina. That's pretty much a shortcut to what I was trying to accomplish with the weird dual layer system I was working with. That's cool. So with my method, this is going to have a gradient from the deepest shadows through to the lightest shadows. I could definitely see an application for that. So as of now, I have tried a gradient map. And yeah, I need to sleep on that because we can see some very cool effects. Might even work as like a Feywild overlay. I can just kind of dump that on top of the shadows that I have to inject some funky Feywild colors, maybe in an overlay layer. Yeah, check that out. Can you please zoom in? There we go. So our very boring shadows here with an overlay are now colorized. Interesting stuff. That's something that if I had more time, I would dig into right now. But I'm really working to the clock because I need to get these things published this month. So I'm just going to stick to what I know for now. But thank you, because that could be like a breakthrough. Don't know for sure yet. Okay, so when I zoom in, this feels like kind of a summer scene. Some white sand and green grass. Odd delay on messages. That might be due to my internet connection. I think OBS has to introduce that delay in order to stream at all. Just because I have a rather poor internet connection where I am. Okay, I'm curious. I'm very hesitant to do this, introduce pre-made textures, but I am curious how it would look if I import our old grassy texture. And maybe we just use it in certain places. We just have it, like, have a very faint presence, maybe. Well, we might come back to that because once I've introduced like vignetting and the other tricks I hope to use, I want this kind of feel where it's kind of deliberately simple coloring, right? There's a little bit of noise and there's some vignetting, but it's otherwise deliberately simple. Oh hum. Okay. Pretty much happy with the surroundings for now. Where am I? Just kind of want to get the boring surroundings done so that we can move on to the tent and the interior after that. This is part of the reason why I'm so behind this month, because we have a battle map here which is 4 times the size of what I'm used to. And then we also have a bonus interior, but we will prevail. Here's the other thing is this secondary line art needs to be warm, in the warm zone. Which is here. Hmm. Right, it was a different case for the assets we were working on the past few days, but for this, we're just going to have 2 different layer masks for the warm zones. And that'll let us have, oh, except look at that there, semi-transparent. Yeah, I'm going about this wrong, that's why. That's better. Now we can color this bit separately. Where are our example assets? This is kind of our control. So the cool zones are a little more green. Wrong spot. The warm zones are a little more orange. In the wrong spot again. I'm getting my secondary line art and my shadows mixed up now. This is what I want. Still looking okay. And then these secondary lines are in fact a little more bold and a little more red. That's very cool, Richard. Yeah, I hope those crabs see plenty of use. Thanks for stopping by, Silencer. Hope you get some good sleep. We'll have some pre-decorated versions of this map as well. So you can either have big tent in open field or big tent surrounded by a crowding of other circus stuff. I'm not even sure yet if we're sticking with the yellow, so I shouldn't be getting too pedantic yet. But yeah, we are just trying to square away the exterior. Oh, I unplugged you. Wakey, wakey. Yeah, Noctske. I'm tempted to go with iconic circus colors. And that's definitely going to be at least a variant. Because I know people who want an immediately recognizable circus tent. But also, I want to make my own circus tents, so I want to come up with my own color scheme. This color scheme I coined banana flavored baby food. So I'm kind of attached to this one, but we'll see. It's all going to depend on how it looks once these banners are dressed up. Ah, good morning, Ascada. Thanks. You know what I want to drag in is our default grand entrance, and that's going to kind of inform color scheme here, at least for the flags out the front. And that's this guy. So this is designed to be like the entrance to the main circus field. This is an intimidating thought, is introducing all these colors in. How best should I do that? I'm glad you like it. Doing a little bit of layer magic in the background. Now I can paint within the banners. Cool. To borrow a term from programming, I'm tempted just to hard code these colors into these banners. No, I can't do that, can I? Because we've also got variants of this grand entrance. Where are those? Which I want to include. We've got these variants. Hold on. Yeah, so in the extended pack, in the patron rewards and stuff, we have all these alternate versions. And I can only accomplish these if we split these banners up into a bunch of different layers. Yeah, I got to do it that way. I'm going to start with just a whole bunch of color layers. That's already looking more iconic, I think. Yeah, this is the game plan. So we'll just have a different color layer for all of these different colors. And work from there. Did I miss any? Purple. Okay, there's not as many as I thought. Oh yeah, I'm also a big fan of this color scheme. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Nochtske, hope the rest of your day/night is good. Yeah, I highly recommend watching these streams at like 2x speed. I haven't added any timestamps or anything. Just haven't had the time. But just skip through to whatever you need. That's cool, man. I'm a big fan of those Skaven minis. Oh, got lost for a second. Okay, that's all of the colors I need. So what's my kind of method here? Yeah, I'm just going to start with base coats, I guess. Get a good distribution of color and then worry about the patterning as a kind of step 2. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if we include white, 6 different colors. So we kind of want every 6th banner to be red. Also break the rules sometimes and just squeeze them together. The funny thing about random, trying to paint something random, painting something random is just much harder than painting something non-random. I'm not even sure if we want any predominantly yellow banners here, if we have a yellow tent. If we do, we want them kind of away from the tent. Yeah, if we have a dominant color on the tent, we want it to be something that contrasts the tent, like the blue. Kind of make it a bit crazy. And I'll try and remember that we want some white ones too. Mm. Mm. I don't like this cluster of Christmas colors we've got. Let's use purple instead. Yeah, using a dice is definitely one way. Yeah, I love the Doom wheel. Those Skaven minis inspired a whole ancestry in my personal game too. Love them. Okay, we'll go easy on the white flags because they're not colorful. Um, just not colorful enough. So that's pretty good distribution. Maybe this one needs to be something. Maybe it needs a pattern to it. Yeah, that's the next step. Here's some designs, banner designs. We've got some interesting sunlight coming across the table now. Although looking at it in OBS, it just makes me look like an angel or something with the overexposure. Why is that? I thought I had it set to automatic. Oh, I'm done. Okay, time for some wonderfully simple banner designs. I have, this is a little Easter egg, I have this inverted Japanese flag design show up on my coastal town map. So let's give them a little representation here. Actually, no. Well, the blue and the yellow just doesn't really work. Thanks, Marina. It's been fun. Hope your day goes well. Mine's coming closer and closer to the end here in Australia. So, but yeah, have a good one. Let me just steal from myself because I did some interesting things down here. Oh yeah, this one's kind of repeated a few times. We want these central flags to be especially interesting. Yeah, it's 5 p.m. now, so evening for me. Uh, what goes of our colors? What's the most interesting thing to couple with red? Maybe this one. Yeah, let's do that. Let's copy some of these banners over to here. It only makes sense because it's the same performers in theory. So good excuse for me to just copy myself. Although, do we have any square banners? No, these are all pointy. Okay, well, we can work with that. Okay, so this is supposed to be a triangle, although we have just made that one. Let's make this one the triangle one. Cool. This one can be, I rather like that one. Nice and understated. I like this one. Let's find a home for you. Yeah, kind of has to be. Don't have many yellow ones left. Maybe this one. Okay, blue can be. This big prominent blue one needs to be an interesting one. I'm thinking the stripe, double stripe. Maybe this one. And it has a important look about it. Yeah, I'm thinking that one. And then blue stripes can maybe go over here or something. Try and maintain the perspective. Although most of these banners have some very loose perspective to them, so well, we'll just do what we can to strengthen the perspective, I guess. And yellow stripes. kind of don't like it. Maybe it needs to be smaller. Ooh. Something more like that scale. Yeah. Let's fix it up now. Maybe a band or something up here. Yeah, that's much better. Kind of an unfortunate secondary line art. I think we move this up a bit. You can live up here. Let's just go color by color. So we'll get all the blue ones done first. I like the stripy one. Oh, here's another one I like a lot. So this one needs to be probably this one because it's a similar shape. Maybe we put it here because it's nice and prominent. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, well, we're doing blue banners right now, so let's do that. Then, oh, okay, hold on. All right, it's a predominantly yellow banner now, but that's okay. Stripy banner, yeah, it's going to be... we'll just do something simple for the very small one. Beautiful. Okay, what's our most interesting green banner for this big guy? Preferably one without much yellow because it's probably going to be backed up by a big yellow background. You might have to make a new one because none of these are amazing. I kind of like this purple design in here. Maybe that's going to go right here. I think so. How did I do that? Fortunate their banner has this weathering to it. Imagine this is some kind of arcane performance guild. Very magical look to it. Might just make up an all new one, yeah. I think we'll recycle this design. So, we'll use the red again. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, I like this green and red. And then an eye, I guess. The center. And what it represents, that's up to you, Mr. Dungeon Master. When I zoom out, it kind of looks lame. You know why? Maybe we've got the spacing all wrong. Hold up. Drop that off. Try something more like that. Jack, this is a Wacom Intuos Small. Great entry level tablet. It should be about $100. About 100 Australian bucks. Nothing fancy about it, but it does the job. All you need, I guess. I'm not really well versed in tablets, so I couldn't tell you if I recommend it or not, but it does the job. Okay, I think we'll recycle a design or two. So red and purple gonna clash horribly. Kind of. Not if we do this. Okay, I've moved from going color by color. Now we're just kind of working at random, but it's fine. We'll start at the center and work our way out. That's the new method. I definitely want to mix in this design. Oh, maybe we should have put this design here. Although it's a bit too much yellow. We'll put that design here, perhaps. Yeah, we'll get there. Cool white designs. Maybe they're all pretty simple, I guess. Classic 3. You know what I'm deathly afraid of is accidentally adding something that's racist or otherwise horrible. When I did my fire spell assets, I did a bunch of magical runes, and apparently the ancient, what were they, Norse? Ancient Norse runes that I used as a reference are now used by a certain racist group. So completely by accident, I put like some racist iconography into my fire runes pack, which has since been removed thanks to some very understanding fans who are better informed than I am. But yeah, I'm kind of worried about that now. At least these are very simple designs, right? I think that's the secret, is just keep it simple. Like, it's very difficult to look up a symbol online. If I wanted to know whether or not this was used by a certain organization, like, what do I do? Do I reverse image search it, I guess? Tough one. Hmm. I have used a Cintiq before in my life. I used the one with the screen, but this setup works a lot better for me, ergonomically speaking. I get a lot less neck strain because I don't have to point my head at the tablet. I can point my head forward at my main monitor. It took a bit of getting used to, but I don't think I'll ever go back. It's very natural to me now. I really like, for some reason, this design. Let's give it a nice prominent look. Nice. One could just have a bold chevron. Making good progress, I think. Deceptive how much work goes into these very simple designs. I'm very grateful for streaming, for showing me how many hours go into each of these map packs. Because when I started these, originally all of this plus the 300 circus assets were going to be in one big pack. And that would have killed me, I think. So Glad I split it up into 2 packs. If I'm completely honest, probably should have been 3 packs because there's a Circus Exterior, Circus Interior, and Circus Assets. But I kind of think that's just too many circus things, so we'll put them into 2 packs. And also this little design, nice. Put that over here. Oh, thanks, Jack. Yeah, just reading the URL, that seems like exactly what I was looking for. So it's a little thing. A little red sun or something. Hmm. Cool, interesting. So this side looks pretty good. Bit more red on this one. I think we'll transform it into this guy. Oh, I've done it wrong. Okay, who's left? A couple of purple. Okay, well, just a couple. Not this one. What colors are we lacking on this side? Maybe a bit more yellow down here. Uh, maybe this old one. I did want this one in. I think that's going to become that. Hey, good morning, Em. Thanks for saying so. I think it's coming along well. We're not working on all this fun stuff on the bottom edge. That's just here for reference. But yeah, I do think we're getting that colorful look. Maybe we need more red. I'm seeing a lack of red. I mean, like some red added on. Kind of interesting. Or purple too, perhaps. Hmm. Can also get a large version of this tablet, which will, in theory, give you finer control. I wonder if I should upgrade when I move. I think I will, just so I can test the difference. Yeah, in theory, a larger tablet will give you finer controls because you know, your movements will be translated to a larger area. But yeah, speaking of affordable tablets, I would probably recommend this one. Never tested any other ones, but this one hasn't betrayed me, so that's good enough. Although I did update the software and it enabled, all by itself, enabled run on startup for the updater. That I consider a betrayal. That's not cool. I like to run a very clean ship. Is that the saying? When it comes to my startup, computer startup. Where am I? I'll do something a little bit more unique over on this side. All right, just these two, I guess. Yellow and a red. Well, it helps to have some which are just very simple. Maybe this one. There. And then this red one, I think it just stripes. It's for a bit of strong perspective. And then I think that's going to do it. In my head canon, this front grand entrance of the circus shows off all the different guilds which are currently present, performing guilds. And then these banners show like who's performing that particular day in the main tent. Because in theory, you get days off if you work for a circus, right? That's why there's fewer. Okay, I really like colors though. That's definitely working. Just just imagining an extra grand entrance. That kind of works because you lose the support pillars behind all the banners. And then that just looks like it's correct perspective. That's interesting. Take notes if you want to make an extra grand entrance. That won't be the default though. Cool. Let's stop playing around with that. What happened here? Yeah, and that's also true. Like, what color should this be? Rainbow? I think rainbow could be pretty cool. Let's try it. Not actually a rainbow where it's sequenced through the different hues, but like a randomized rainbow. I'm imagining like the Banner Saga series. If I remember the lore right, when you join the caravan in that, you stitch your own banner into the main banner of the traveling group. So this is kind of like the main banner of this traveling circus. And if you join up and stick around for a while, you get to stitch your banner into the main banner. Right? How do we feel about that? I think it's pretty cool. Though some of the shapes are a little strange. Mm. I'm pretty happy with this look. Still not 1000% sure about the yellow, only because kind of contrasts poorly with the grass. As if it were red, it's much more present. But you know, there's one guy who I'm trying not to copy, and that's Dungeon Mapster's Circus assets. I'm going to look up his pack just so that I can be absolutely sure that I don't choose that color scheme. And it looks like we've got, who's this? Tavern Tales also has, well, a lot of people have circus maps, but Tavern Tales and Dungeon Mapster have circus maps in a similar style. So I want to stay far away from what they've already done and go for something more unique. And Dungeon Mapster's wagons are a sight to behold. He even got the Wheel of Death. That's the one thing I forgot. Okay, well, anyway, so the color scheme we're not allowed to use is red and white. That is claimed by both Tavern Tales and Dungeon Mapster and most circuses in the real world, probably. It's the iconic color scheme. So we'll stay away from that color scheme. There was something I wanted to try here, and that's splitting each of these ribbons up into sub-ribbons to better kind of match this scale. So we'll just sneak another band of yellow in here and another band of white in here. I think that'll be a good look. So that's going to take a little bit. And how best do I want to go about that? Yeah, that'll do. They get really awkward as they come to this point. I need to fix this up a bit. Mm-hmm. Okay, next step. Extra white bands? No, extra yellow bands. This is actually, I'm used to coloring in and following the line art, but when I don't have line art to follow, it's surprisingly difficult. I just want to split this up into perfect thirds. Maybe up here it can kind of vanish away. We'll see. Get a center line going. You know what I think my setup here is missing? Nothing you can see, but I need like a backlight to my monitor. So now that the sun's going down, I have all of this dark acoustic foam behind my monitor. And it doesn't help with the eye strain. When I use a bigger brush. Maybe a strange effect though. I'm not sure if all this work is going to be worth it. But it will help sell the scale of the circus. Also, it's not doing much for this rounded shape that I wanted here. A bit too late for that anyway. Also, I've done this opposite of the way I intended to. All right. I'm beginning to feel more optimistic about this effect. I think it'll be a good idea after all. Yeah, that's true. We might do that. But I'm pretty optimistic. I think it's going to look better going all the way around. We're going to fix up the shadow colors also. Oh, am I in the wrong spot? I wonder how I feel about this yellow color scheme. What's the alternative? The alternative is probably yellow and red, because I'm cutting off the red and white option, and yellow and red is probably the most iconic color scheme after that. But I don't think I really want iconic in this case. I think I want my very own baby food color scheme. Banana flavored baby food color scheme. I think that's the way to go. And then when people see yellow and white circus, they're not like, oh, it's just another circus map. They're like, oh, that's the one that 2 Minute Tabletop did. The one that looks like baby vomit. But I'm not opposed to a different color scheme. We'll see if anything pops into my mind before we're done. Hey, Starch. Yeah, it's probably, if this has been your first stream in the last 2 months, then it's been 2 years, in fact, since I streamed last. So it's good to have you back. Just recently started streaming again in the month of July, kind of made it a habit. And here we are, still. But over here in Oz, it's almost 6 p.m, so my morning's well and truly gone. But the afternoon's going well. Just, I got all of my daily habits out the way, all the exercise and studying and blah, blah, blah. And now it's just art until dinner time, till I'm hungry enough, or rather, till I'm too hungry to keep going. Kind of the strategy. Yeah. The more progress we make, the more I'm being sold on this color scheme. In fact, I kind of like it, alternating between this triple band and the single band. Kind of interesting. We could even go rather fancy and do something along these lines. That's pretty regal. Also highlights my mistake here. I'm going to keep that for now. Oh, thanks, Dutch. I'm also pretty optimistic about this map. It's also got an interior, in case you haven't seen that, which we haven't started on yet today. But we will get there. Yeah, I think we get the best of both worlds here. We have iconic circus red stripes, and we've still got that nice, vibrant gold. Maybe this is the way to go. Could even try some of the other colors. Maybe the green would be cool. That's interesting. That's interesting. Blue? Mmm. Mmm. Yeah, we're gonna have to play around with that. Maybe these bands become blue and we just have a very colorful tent. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Cyberpunk assets were a very fun project. I I completed those before the game came out, so I was kind of starved for reference material, which is kind of how I prefer to work. Because I know if I drew them after the game had come out and I'd been playing the game for 2 months, they would be very derivative. But the way that we did them now, they're, well, still derivative, but kind of by accident. And like the car, especially. Car, how did I even go about the car? What reference material did I use? I think I pretty much. I definitely looked at some Cyberpunk 2077 concept art for the car and just picked and choose a few kind of, what are they called? Fine design. choices. Yeah, that's the word. But mostly I was just winging it. Can't go too wrong if you include a bunch of neon. That's kind of my the shortcut I took with the cyberpunk assets. I just drew general modern slash sci-fi slash cyberpunk stuff, and then I gave it that canary yellow neon glow that Cyberpunk 2077 is all about. I'm glad. I'm more a fan of in the expanded pack, Cyberpunk asset pack. There's some red variations, so all of the yellow and blue lights are turned into a very dystopian red. A very different vibe. I should probably hit that save button a few more times. Or more often is what I should say, if I knew how to English. Would be a good time for me to catch up on my Japanese immersion. At least while I'm painting, I'm gonna quickly listen to something. But still watching the chat, still able to respond, so don't feel like I'm shirking my responsibilities as a streamer. I'm going to listen to Noriko Sensei. Well, thanks, Starch. It's much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, Token Editor is also a few years old now. Time flies. But probably about a year ago was when we brought on our first artists and full-time developer. So it's really evolved since then. It's a whole different thing now than when it was just a little prototype that I made. Got a whole life of its own. Token editor is unique in that players get a whole lot of use out of it, whereas all these battle maps I draw are really only useful to dungeon masters, game masters. Wrong button. So I didn't have a lot of content to offer players until we created the token editor. But now players can, create tokens for their player characters. And then maybe from the token editor, they'll explore the rest of the site, find some cool battle maps, get inspired to be a dungeon master, and the circle of life continues. Sacred circle of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, it boggles my mind for sure. How time flies. But truly, I would not like to spend my... I'm coloring, I'm erasing the tent. I wouldn't want to spend my work hours any other way. Making battle maps every day. Just a dream come true. And if I don't sound very excited about it, it's just because it's kind of the voice I have. Oh, I didn't have much talent when I started out. Um, like, don't zoom in too much on some of my old maps. But here we are 7 years later, and 7 years of practice on anything, you're bound to get pretty good at it. But yeah, when I started out, didn't have a lot of talent. Really, I was just leaning on the skills that I picked up doodling in my textbooks during high school. And rather than doing my maths, I would just draw in the margins of my book. But yeah, I think if you put the time into anything, you can probably make it your job. I'm a firm believer in finding your 1,000 true fans. If you can stick with something for long enough and find 1,000 people who will pay you just a little bit, then you can make it your full-time gig. Just gotta, it's tough. It's tough even today. It's tough even with the stuff you enjoy to be that consistent. Like, I can't stick with video games for that long. But yeah, you just need a mindset, I guess. But that's kind of key. Find something that you enjoy doing, and if you enjoy it, if you enjoy the thing you make, there's bound to be at least 1,000 people out there who also enjoy it. And then you just got to find them. Just got to keep making stuff. Find those people, and then yeah, stick with it. And also, like, support the people who make stuff that you enjoy, and then it's a big happy circle of people creating, people supporting other creators. I don't know, maybe that's a little bit naive, but seems to have worked out for me. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Lots of people um, say that I've had some measure of inspiration, inspired them to some measure, but I don't know. It seems a bit far-fetched to me, but I'm glad to hear it. Taking a lot of time to do these bands, but I think the effect is going to be well worth it. Especially once we consider the scale. Here's the 5-foot grid. So without these extra bands, it's kind of the scale looks smaller, I guess. But with the bands, we increase the complexity, and that helps sell the fact that it's a very big circus tent. How big was it? I don't remember. I think it's 100 feet from end to end. 20 inches. That's 100 feet. I'm correct. What sort of art did you get into, Starch? You have a kind of particular interest, or do you just mean art in general? Ah, I see. You beat me to it. You were already typing as I was asking the question. Oh, portraits. Okay. Like portraits of real people? I have to ask because it's a D&D related channel. That's a skill I really want to practice someday, is portrait work, drawing faces. Because I began drawing battle maps so that I could immerse my players in the scenes that I was imagining, better than just describing them. But I don't have that power yet when it comes to NPCs. I just have to describe and hope that I'm getting them close to what I'm trying to describe. But man, if I knew how to draw portraits, I could. Uh, yeah, it would be a powerful tool in the toolbox. And also, not everything's about D&D. It would be nice to be able to draw people. Ooh, very cool. Did you take any particular course or like go to school for that? Or like an art class? Because the way I imagine myself learning portraiture is like a Skillshare class. Maybe some YouTube tutorials as a starting point. But I'd be interested to know if you recommend anything. Yeah, I figure the more real people you draw, the better you will be at making up people. It's kind of like with battle maps. The more real life tree studies and rock studies that I do, the better my battle maps get. So all the skills you're working on now will also translate into D&D. You're like building up a library in your head of different facial features that you can draw upon later. That's the way I work with battle maps. I'm always thinking like, that's why this map was so difficult, because I don't have a mental library of circus stuff. But when I'm drawing our lake battle map, that stuff just flows out of me because that's where my interests lie. I just love drawing natural scenes, and I have a huge repertoire of rocks and trees and grasses and bushes and stuff in my head. Yeah, practice is always the biggest thing, isn't it? I think if you try and link it, YouTube's just going to block you, so don't worry about it. But if I do get into it, I'll probably try and find you and ask you what you recommend. It's one of those things I want to learn, but currently do not have the time for. So it's just like a one of these days kind of projects. And I got lots of those, lots of one of these days projects, lots of ideas. I just realized I'm really hitching my shoulder. Like I need to reposition this. Otherwise, I'm going to be sore tomorrow. Ah, thanks. Yeah, I'll track you down if I want those links. this is the last band. Wow. Wonder what time it was when I decided to draw in these secondary bands. But we're finally here. And I think it's paid off big time once we correct the shading. Wherever that is. Yeah. Well, here it is with consistent shading. I really quite like this color scheme we've stumbled upon. Oh, you can refer to me by he/him. That's fine. So we have the warm shadow zone, which if we stick with this color scheme, will expand that to the other yellow bands. I just realized our grass is encroaching upon our tent right here. Although it is kind of handy as way to sneak in some interesting color. So maybe we keep it. Well, inevitably, there's going to be a sleep in between now and packaging up this map. I'll have some time to really think about the color scheme. So I don't need to decide right now. We could do something funky here. Well, it's paralyzing because there's too many options. Circus tents can be any old color. Got to go with something. Yeah, we'll leave it like this for now. Probably got another hour that I can stream for, so let's move over here. And I haven't decided yet if I want to do anything with the curtains or just leave them as kind of a stylistic border. I think I like it the way it is now. Oh, Matt. Well, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, you're right. McDonald's color scheme is a no-go. So for that reason alone, it's going to have to change. I'm glad we realized that now, not later. We could just do this old one. Bit of blue. I do like the yellow and the blue. I got to search my brain for brands and think, is this some brand's color scheme? Am I going to accidentally advertise for McDonald's if I release this? We'll leave it like that for now. The main reason I wanted to bring in some red was so that it stood out from the background. This is kind of fun, but yeah, there's just so many red and white circus tents out there already. Maybe if we push our grass a little bluer. Definitely helps. We'll come back to that. IKEA. Yeah, well, I kind of think that's funny. Whereas a McDonald's circus tent is unfortunate. I think an IKEA circus tent is kind of funny. Anyway, what kind of work do we need to do here? I wanted to paint some of this stuff. That would be... Okay, that's easy. Being careful to stay away from the McDonald's color scheme. Where... There it is. Well, that was a strong contender that I was thinking about earlier, is purple and yellow. Ooh. Getting a little crazy. Well, that's something. Now there is, I saw this when I was Google image searching earlier. There is a certain circus with a pink and blue color scheme. I don't want to accidentally rip them off. A certain real life circus, that is. Let me drag in some assets. So this could work. We also might just go back to yellow and white. Is this? What other strong contenders do we have? Remind me to do a Halloween variant. Oh, thank you, Matt. Leaning towards simpler color schemes so that the banners can really stand out. This big tent is kind of overpowering right now. Ooh, invisible tent. There's something. This is reminding me of Like a cough lolly or something. Mm. I'm pretty convinced we're going to return to beige and gold. Oh, McDonald's. Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to stick with this for now. And we'll even set up some warm shadow zones. Sit tight. Right? No. Okay, that's right for shadow. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. And if we just take it easy on the red, it shouldn't look too McDonald's. Hey Mac, yeah, I guess technically this is promotional. Promoting the art which I offer on my website. Most of that is pay what you want though, and most of it you can grab for free. So it just depends on your own definition of promotional. Now that we've started thinking about McDonald's, I'm seeing it everywhere. I don't think we can use yellow. I'm imagining like the McDonald's playground. Hmm. Maybe white. White's kind of classy. I saw something I wanted to edit, but now I've lost it. Also, where's that token? Oh, there she is. Yeah, you stay there. Actually, yeah, we're representing Grimace here with the curtains. I think we have some stripes on some of the other assets for Hamburglar. Oh, this wood layer also shows up here. I want to, wait, hold on. Nothing showing up here. Mm-hmm. Well, the full explanation, Mac, is that originally it was one set, the circus assets and this big tent. But I realized very early on that that the size of it is much larger than one set. So this is its own thing, but it is like the companion piece to the circus map assets. These guys. And the map variants indeed are going to be a few different, and we're going to basically decorate the surroundings. Yeah, I think we'll keep the interior pretty basic, Matt. We've got banner assets, which are definitely going to be useful for that. Yeah, we've got a bunch of assets like this, which we can hang about. Possibly. I'm thinking kind of an ambient light effect from the sun shining through this surface. That might be possible, or I might not be sufficiently skilled. We'll see. I would like to try another spotlight effect like I did in the one. Like I did in the Desert Tomb battle map. That's also question mark. Let's just get general colors right. Yeah, there's probably a lot of people working on people working on circuses right now. Because we've got a big circus themed Kickstarter underway. Not me, someone on Kickstarter. And then there's the official module coming out. So, yeah, like I said, the circus has been on my to-do list for a long time, but knowing that, I figured it's now or never. Oh, I got a separate shadow for the interior, don't I? No, this is its own battle map. A very large one. We've got plenty of space for battle, outside and inside. A very cool idea. All right, so interior shadows. If we were to do like a yellow ambient light, might be rather orange in here. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Oh, you know why? Because our grass layer is sneaking in. Okay, let me think about this. And don't forget these. Whoops. Whoops again. Nope, that's not it. That's what I want. If we had a very dark interior, it might be something like this. But tinged reddish or tinged warm because the sun's shining through this tent. Right, but warm just means grayer in this case. We could do something fun. Just getting the ambient light in. Then, in theory, the best way to do this. Maybe I make a whole new thing. Getting to the part of the day where I start calling things things and not being very explanatory. But it's 6:30 p.m. It's almost time for dinner. Bear with me. Circus interior. And okay, so that's why I made that. Yeah, starch. It's stream when I stream, stream when I happen to work. But I don't know if my previous broadcasts have any timestamps on them, but you can kind of look at the last few streams I've done on YouTube to get an idea what my schedule is. Also, the hungrier I get, the more disorganized my layers get. So I gotta cut it off at some point. But in theory, if I have this, I can have a nice big spotlight effect. We did a very, let's like shine the spotlight over here on these folks. And go boom. I think we do go rather gray. This might be the job for reference images. Let me have a look. Circus interior. All these modern circuses are extremely well lit. I guess this canvas tent doesn't let any light through at all. My imagination is kind of assuming it's a thin fabric, although That said, this is kind of what I was imagining, right? So this orange tint. Yeah, Mac, that's a pretty good idea. Artistically speaking, it's impossible to make it an asset unless it's so bright that it's just like an overlay. Because this here is a mask out, but a spotlight asset would in theory need to be, sorry if I blinded anyone just now, like an overlay. So I suppose the best I could do is a semi-transparent, something like that. But if it's a separate asset, it has to be over the top of the line art. And you can't use any fancy layer modes like overlay. Unless there are some VTTs which support an overlay, I don't know. Oh, but look at this. We've kind of stumbled upon the perfect orange tint that we were looking for. Happy accident. What we do is we have it quite bright, but we don't have it over the whole thing. We just sort of, do that. I like this because this implies that the sun isn't directly overhead. It's kind of shining through on a certain side. So a certain side of the circus is darker. Now we're getting closer and closer to the effect I was looking for. I don't know. I'm not convinced I could make an asset for that. Sorry if I blinded you again. Let me try. So let's say this is our spotlight. White, perhaps. I guess like very low opacity. Guess that does it. But if you want to sell the idea of a blinding spotlight, like where on this opacity slider would be appropriate? I guess it kind of works. Yeah, there's definitely, here's how I would do it. This is a rabbit trail, but it'll be worth it. 1 second. Okay. We have You have a little bit of glow. What would that be called? A halo around the thingy, spotlight. And a little bit of a gradient as well to really sell it. Although we want quite a strong gradient at the edge. And we blur it a bit. Blur more. Can I just, no, I want to Gaussian blur it. And we want it to be a reasonable color. You know how I would do a spotlight in a VTT is with, what's it called? The fog of war. Kind of works, kind of works. Let's just put this off to the side with our other assets. And I'll export that. I might make it a little more interesting first. Okay, whoop. So let's pretend it's nighttime. No. I'm speaking ridiculosities. Oh, that's the wrong layer. Okay, so ambient light in the circus, like this. Maybe we push this a little grayer. Yeah, this is ambient light. The sun is behind the clouds, and the sun comes out, and then it's something down here. Maybe a little more orange. I quite like that. It's a little separated from my usual art style, so I can't get more in line. Yeah, a little more muted. All right, so yeah. Am I buying it that this is the interior of this tent? Like, this is obviously very orange because the tent is almost completely yellow. This shouldn't be quite so orange because there's a lot of white, which isn't going to filter a lot of light. Maybe if we just push it a little further into white. That reminds me, we also want the light kind of streaming in through the entrances, so don't let me forget that. That's a whole topic about the pole. Um, so we're referring to this central pole, which in theory comes all the way down to here, and there's other poles as well. Canonically, this circus tent is held up with immovable rods, so they don't appear on the default map. But if you would like to introduce them, I'm going to include these assets as well. So you can put your own pole in, depending on if you want a magical circus or a mundane circus. Okay, this is feeling about right. I just don't like kind of distribution. Okay, that seems good. We might still have like a ring light or something, a spotlight right here in the center. What happens if I disable that? Bad things, don't do that. Give me a bit. I'm gonna play around with this for a bit. Quite like this because it doubles as the interior to this particular tent, but it also kind of looks like it's underground and it's lit by torchlight. So kind of a multi-purpose scene that way. We can also eke out a bit of exciting color contrast if we do push the shadows into blue. It's much more exciting than before. Yeah, this is a nice, maybe it doesn't match the tent so well, but it's a nice color combo over here. Hmm. Plus we get an easy nighttime variant out of it. Maybe it should have just a little bit more. Nah, it's just too nice right now. Oops. think we'll need another light as well for an extra bright. Maybe even, okay, I have a few ideas, but one thing at a time. I guess we want a bit of a directional kind of shine here. Maybe there should be a little bit of light peeking in underneath. Hmm. Be kind of nice if this glow was on the main entrance. No, I take it back. Because it's just as likely that the players are performers here, in my imagination. So it doesn't hurt to put the emphasis on the backstage. Oops. Okay, it's been way too long since I stood up. This can't be good for me. So I'm gonna have my dinner right about now. And we're going to pick this project up again first thing tomorrow. Let me just put the finishing touches on. This will be easier to correct as well when we come back with fresh eyeballs. But I'm feeling pretty good about this. It's a nice atmosphere. When I zoom in, I kind of buy it. Maybe this should be more blue. Well, the blue doesn't contrast with the orange quite so well, but it is probably more realistic. Yep, I can foresee a lot more playing around with these colors in the future, but pretty happy with it. Okay, last chance for the last minute changes or adjustments. And little cleanups too. Now here's something interesting I could do. Hmm. The ambient, well, what am I trying to say? The shadows take on the hue of kind of the ambient light. That's why you get bluish shadows outside, because it's usually uh, the sun. Sorry, the sun. The sky. The sky is usually blue. But inside our circus tent, the shadows are likely to be a warm color. And if I didn't delete our reference image, I'd be able to show you, but long gone now. This is annoying what I did up there. Okay, interior is pretty strong. Oops, wrong layer. Hmm. Kind of a good look when the white also has a warm shadow on it, isn't it? Oh, cool. I can also adjust that. Okay, okay. I gotta call it quits sometime. Otherwise, I'll just keep adjusting this forever and ever until I completely lose the ability to speak. But that's good. That's good progress. And yeah, if I were to export this and call it a day, it would be a success. There are very few things I want to change about it now. A nice subtle vignette and run it through Lightroom. It's pretty much done pretty well. So we've succeeded at exporting our assets, and we've succeeded at this one. Hopefully, when we come back, when we come back tomorrow, it'll be to put the finishing touches on Circus Tent map. And after that, we have this one. We have our lake line art. This one's a little older than the current version. Is it? Yeah, here we are. I'm excited to work on this one. There's just a nice, peaceful nature scene where we'll be working with a natural color palette and we don't have to think about McDonald's branding and that sort of stuff. It's going to be fun. Hmm. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Mac. I'm kind of sold on this spotlight idea. I'll definitely include that in the pack with a few adjustments. Okay. Yeah, make sure I hit the save button a few times to make sure. Well, this can be our nice closing frame. This is pretty much what we accomplished today. Don't even know how long we've been streaming. 3.5 hours. Okay, definitely time for me to stretch my legs then. So this is the glorious Circus Tent battle map that will be finished soon enough. So I hope you'll be back tomorrow. Otherwise, the video on demand will be up soon enough. Been fun. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.